Were you there when they crucified my Lord? Were you there when they crucified my Lord? Oh, sometimes it causes me to tremble, tremble, tremble. Were you there when they crucified my Lord?
Very early in the morning, the leading priests, other leaders, and teachers of religious law, the entire high council, bound Jesus and took him to Pilate, the Roman governor. Pilate asked Jesus, "Are you the king of the Jews?"
Yes, it is as you say.
Then the leading priests accused him of many crimes, and Pilate asked him, "Aren't you going to say something? What about all these charges against you?" But Jesus said nothing, much to Pilate's surprise. Now it was the governor's custom to release one prisoner each year at Passover time, anyone the people requested. One of the prisoners at that time was Barabbas, convicted along with others for murder during an insurrection. The mob began to crowd toward Pilate, asking him to release a prisoner as usual. "Should I give you the king of the Jews?" Pilate asked, for he realized by now that the leading priests had arrested Jesus out of envy. But at this point, the leading priests stirred up the mob to demand the release of Barabbas instead of Jesus. "But if I release Barabbas," Pilate asked them, "what should I do with this man you call the king of the Jews?" They shouted back, "Crucify him." "Why?" Pilate asked. "What crime has he committed?" But the crowd only roared the louder, "Crucify him." So Pilate, anxious to please the crowd, released Barabbas to them. He ordered Jesus flogged with a lead-tipped whip, then turned him over to the Roman soldiers to crucify him.
Were you there when they crucified my Lord? Were you there when they crucified my Lord? Oh, sometimes it causes me to tremble, tremble, tremble. Were you there when they crucified my Lord?
The soldiers took him into their headquarters and called out the entire battalion. They dressed him in a purple robe and made a crown of long, sharp thorns and put it on his head. Then they saluted, yelling, "Hail, King of the Jews!" And they beat him on the head with a stick, spit on him, and dropped to their knees in mock worship. When they were finally tired of mocking him, they took off the purple robe and put his own clothes on him again. Then they led him away to be crucified.
Were you there when they crucified my Lord? Were you there when they crucified my Lord? Oh, sometimes it causes me to tremble, Tremble, tremble. Were you there when they crucified my Lord?
A man named Simon, who was from Cyrene, was coming in from the country just then, and they forced him to carry Jesus' cross. And they brought Jesus to a place called Golgotha, which means Skull Hill. 2 others, both criminals, were led out to be executed with him. All 3 were crucified there, Jesus on the center cross, and the 2 criminals on either side. Jesus said,
Father, forgive these people, because they don't know what they are doing.
And the soldiers gambled for his clothes by throwing dice.
O sacred head now wounded, with grief and shame weighed down, now scornfully surrounded, with thorns thine only crown. O sacred head, what glory, what bliss till now was thine. Yet though despised and gory, I joy to call thee mine. How pale thou art with anguish, with sore abuse and scorn. How does thy face now languish, which once was bright as morn? Thy grief and bitter passion were all for sinners' gain. Mine was the transgression, but thine the deadly pain.
The crowd watched, and the leaders scoffed. He saved others, they said. Let him save himself if he is really God's chosen one, the Messiah. The soldiers mocked him, too, by offering him a drink of sour wine. They called out to him, If you are the king of the Jews, save yourself. A signboard was nailed to the cross above him with these words, This is the King of the Jews. One of the criminals hanging beside him scoffed, So, you're the Messiah, are you? Prove it by saving yourself, and us too, while you're at it. But the other criminal protested, Don't you fear God, even when you are dying? We deserve to die for our evil deeds, but this man hasn't done anything wrong. Then he said, Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom. And Jesus replied,
I assure you, today you will be with me in paradise.
Standing near the cross were Jesus' mother and his mother's sister, Mary, the wife of Clopas, and Mary Magdalene. When Jesus saw his mother standing there beside the disciple he loved, he said to her,
Woman, he is your son.
And he said to this disciple,
She is your mother.
And from then on, this disciple took her into his home.
What wondrous love is this, O my soul?
At noon, darkness fell across the whole land until 3 o'clock. Then at that time, Jesus called out with a loud voice,
Eloi, Eloi, lema sabachthani,
which means,
my God, why have you forsaken me?
Jesus knew that everything was now finished, and to fulfill the scriptures, he said,
I am thirsty.
A jar of sour wine was sitting there, so they soaked a sponge in it, put it on a hyssop branch, and held it up to his lips. When Jesus had tasted it, he said,
It is finished.
Then he bowed his head and gave up his spirit.
When I survey the wondrous cross on which the Prince of Glory died, my richest gain I count but loss, and pour content on all my pride. See from his head his his feet, sorrow and love flow mingled down. Did such love and sorrow meet, or thorns compose so rich a crown? Were the whole realm of nature mine, that were an offering far too small. Love so amazing, so divine, demands my soul, my life, my all.
By this time, it was noon, and darkness fell across the whole land until 3 o'clock. The light from the sun was gone, and suddenly the thick veil hanging in the temple was torn apart. Then Jesus shouted,
Father, I entrust my spirit into your hands.
and with those words, he breathed his last.
I am forgiven because you were forsaken. I am accepted. You were condemned. I'm alive and well. Your spirit is within me because you died and rose again. Amazing love, how can It is my joy to honor